To this day, if you had said to me in 2019 how many people would be willing to fight back for their nation, I probably would have said 30%. And maybe you could have talked me down to 10%, but I never would have thought it would have been less than 1%.
Right.
I don't even think it was 1% that were willing to fight back, that were willing to say no. And these were very absurd things, very, very absurd things. Maybe some of you wore the masks, maybe you didn't know, but what about the doctors who knew? Doctors have always known masks don't work for tiny respiratory viruses. There's not a doctor who ever went to medical school who ever thought they worked. We know they work for big things like spit, okay? They work for blood. They work for big things. They don't work. So to see doctors wearing masks was incredible to me. And then I kept waiting for the American people to say no. I kept waiting for, like the men who stormed Normandy, and they had evaporated from the American population. Right. And it's probably too much to go into, but just to have an insight into how my brain works, it was very obvious to me that this was also a war on masculinity, which has been going on now for 2 or 3 generations. Because if any society doesn't have strong men to protect it, we will collapse by invasion or some other mechanism. But you looked around and you would see 22-year-old men who have a mask and a plexi shield in front of their face, and you're thinking, well, they're not storming the beach. Like, we're not trusting those guys. So there was a confluence of a lot of things that I felt that if we didn't say something, we would never be able to say again. Right. We would never have that chance. And I do think courage is also contagious. I didn't stand up to make other people courageous. Right. I stood up because I couldn't stand it. So, there you go.